Allow yourself to relax as we drift through tonight's gentle tale. Peony and Tansy's empathetic adventure. This story is about Peony and Tansy using intellect to uplift the garden's daisies. On a cozy autumn evening in the quaint village of Willowbrook, young Peony lay in her bed, gazing out the window where the silvery moonlight danced across the room. Her heart was filled with light, the warmth of sunsets, and the love of stories she adored. Nearby, on a worn wooden dresser, was a small mouse named Tansy. Tansy twitched her little pink nose and blinked her tiny sparkling eyes, all the while sensing the serene atmosphere. Peony found comfort in Tansy's presence, imagining the little mouse understood all about the joys and struggles of a human heart. Tansy certainly seemed to listen quietly, with an empathetic twinkle in her eye that promised she would be there through thick and thin. "Tonight, Tinichit," Alni said, with a gentle smile, "I want to tell you a story that ever been unfolding in the garden's actress." The garden was a place where Peony often retreated for solace, surrounded by fragrant flowers and the gentle rustling of leaves. "All of the flowers seem sadder this year," Ivor said. Peony continued, watching Tansy climb onto her shoulder for a closer look. "Especially the daisies had lost some of their brightness." Little Tansy nuzzled closer, as if urging Peony to elaborate. "I think it's because they miss their bee friends emitting sounds," she whispered, recalling the vibrant buzz that once filled the garden air. Peony's intuition was keen, and she believed nature communicated with her in ways others might overlook. Tansy squeaked softly, agreeing that empathy was a powerful tool capable of bridging the gap between humans and the small creatures that shared their world. Encouraged, Peony resolved to help the daisies rediscover their joy. The next morning, she carefully tied bright ribbons around the stems of each daisy, hope sparkling round her heart. "These will remind them of sunshine and laughter," she said confidently, knowing the daisies merely needed reassurance to bloom fully again. As Peony worked, Tansy aided by extracting tangled pieces of thread from the ribbon, lending both her tiny hands and generous spirit. The duo's shared entity seemed to infuse the garden with renewed energy. Peony watched as petals lifted in gentle harmony, swaying in a newfound breeze. Walking back to her room, Peony sensed the garden was humming with gratitude for such tender care. But sometimes she mused aloud to Tansy, "Although it takes us a little kindness to awaken happiness." How Tansy nodded, her grateful heart mirrored in Peony's thoughtful gaze. As midnight chimed softly, Peony drifted to sleep, cradling dreams filled with interval magic, knowing both she and her tiny friend had made a beautiful difference. While Tansy nestled into a soft, fluffy patch in Peony's pillow, their bond wrapped around the fabric of the night, a testament to the miraculous might of compassion. And thus, the moon continued its shimmering dance, casting slivers of light across hearts bound by kindness. Another tale begins to bring you rest. Daisy and Laughing River, New Beginnings. This story is about Daisy, a young girl, and her bond with Laughing River, embracing new beginnings and self-discovery. Once upon a crisp autumn morning, in a quaint village nestled between Emerald Forest and Azure Sea, there lived a young girl named Daisy. Daisy had eyes the color of summer skies and hair like shimmering honey, always framed by a crown of daisies she loved so dearly. She spent her days wandering along the river bank, which was known to the villagers as Laughing River. It was called this, not for the sound of water rushing past stones, but because of its deep, mirthful aura that could bring joy to all who listened. Daisy cherished the river as if it were a living companion, calling it Lobelia, after her mother's favorite flower. Every morning, she shared stories with Lobelia, tales spun from her vivid imagination, woven into the tapestry of whispers in the breeze. The days grew shorter, and the vibrant leaves began their descent onto the earth, casting the landscape into a fiery embrace. There was an air of change, an embracing of new beginnings in the village, that filled Daisy with anticipation. One evening, as dusk settled, painting the sky in hues of purple and gold, Daisy noticed something unusual by the river's edge. Amidst the fading blooms and grasses, there stood a tiny sprout, breaking through the soil, a sign that sparkled with promise under the starlight. Intrigued, Daisy knelt beside it, cupping her hands around the resilient life form, whispering encouragements to aid its growth. Night after night, she returned, weaving tales of courage and hope into the air around the sprout, watching it grow stronger, as if nurtured by her stories. Then, on one particularly cool night, Daisy shared her deepest wish with Lobelia, a desire for courage to embrace change, to start anew like the enduring seedling before her. As if in response, the river sang with a melody that resonated through her soul, filling her with warmth and strength. His simple sprout blossomed into a beautiful flower, its petals vibrant and alive, symbolizing Daisy's journey of self-discovery and renewal. With each new day, Daisy awoke with a heart full of courage and love, ready to welcome the new beginnings life had hinted at. From that day forward, laughing river, the joyous companion, and Daisy, with her dreams woven into the threads of morning mist, greeted every sunrise together. A village, once merely a dot on the map of their imaginations, became a canvas of dawning opportunities. The bond between a girl and a river transformed the world round her into an endless realm of possibilities. Together, they embraced each day as a new beginning, not only for themselves, but for the vibrant community within their village. Now, let's move softly into our next tale. The Tale of Lobelia and Lantana. This story is about Lobelia, a human, and Lantana, a firefly, as they explore the magical beauty of the forest and form a lasting friendship. Amidst the dense embrace of the ancient forest, where the trees leaned toward each other, as if whispering secrets, there lived a gentle-hearted human named Lobelia. Lobelia had hair as golden as sunlit fields and eyes as bright as the clear sky, which reflected her serene spirit. One evening, as the sun began its descent, painting the forest with hues of orange and pink, Lobelia wandered further than usual, drawn by the mystical allure of the deep woods. Amongst the rustling leaves and the symphony of chirping crickets, she encountered a luminescent firefly, Lantana, whose glow seemed to be infused with magic. Lantana hovered around Lobelia with curiosity, flickering gently like a star lost in the forest. "Fear not," whispered Lantana softly, "I shall guide you to marvels unseen." The two embarked on a journey deeper into the heart of the forest, where the path was often hidden beneath carpets of moss and intertwined roots. They came upon a glade that shimmered under the twilight, where flowers as vivid as precious gems grew. The air was filled with the fragrance of blooming night jasmine, and the sound of trickling streams created a melody that enchanted Lobelia's senses. "This is the forest's heart," murmured Lantana, "idle dreams and reality dance entwined, and wonders never cease." Lobelia felt the tranquility seep into her bones, as if the forest had shared its ancient wisdom with her. Yet, it was not merely the beauty of the surroundings that captured her, but the bond she had formed with Lantana. They spoke of dreams and fears, hopes and trails, and in this exchange, friendship blossomed like the nocturnal flowers around them. As the stars began to dot the night sky, Lobelia knew it was time to return. But the forest and Lantana had left an indelible mark on her soul. She promised to visit often, to tread the hidden paths and find solace in the tranquil embrace of nature. Lantana, now a cherished companion, would always be there, its glow lighting her way through the darkness. At night, Mobilia returned home, her heart warmed by the companionship and the discoveries of the forest. In her dreams, the forest and firefly remained, painting images of landscapes vibrant and full of life, a sanctuary woven from whispers and moonbeams. Let's journey on with another heartwarming story. Harmony in the Glade. The story is about Gloxinia and Iris, who through compromise and collaboration, create a masterpiece that blends their human and elven worlds. Once upon a time, in a land where the sky was a perpetual canvas of swirling colors, two beings lived in close proximity yet worlds apart. Gloxinia, a kind-hearted human with eyes like deep pools of wisdom, wandered the forest in search of inspiration for his art. His gentle steps left whispers among the fallen leaves, creating melodies of both salty and yearning. His canvas was nature itself, and the forest was his muse, each brushstroke a silent conversation with the towering trees and playful breezes. Meanwhile, deep within the enchanted glade, Iris, the guardian elf with hair that caught the light in shimmering strands of silver, tended tirelessly to the floor. Her hands carried the gift of life, turning barren soil into vibrant blooms. She spoke the language of the wind and stars, guiding the growth of each leaf with whispers that only the forest could understand. The two had often crossed paths, but rarely exchanged words, their interactions confined to a mutual nod or a fleeting smile. Immerse stepped Iris's domain, never overstepping into her sacred glade. Iris, in turn, admired the way Gloxinia captured the essence of her home with strokes of paint. One golden afternoon, as the sun painted the sky in hues of amber and rose, Gloxinia found himself inspired to capture the essence of the glade itself. He hesitated at the boundary, fearing to intrude on Iris' sacred space. Sensing the human's dilemma, Iris approached him with a gentle smile, her presence as serene as the moonlit night. "You wish to paint the glade?" she asked, her voice carrying the salt of the forest. Gloxinia nodded, his eyes filled with awe and longing for the beauty that lay beyond. "But it is your home," he replied, his voice tinged with respect and hesitation. Iris pondered for a moment, her gaze softening as she considered the artist's request. "Perhaps we can find a way together," she proposed, her words woven with the threads of compromise. And so began their collaboration. Iris guided Gloxinia through the glade, showing him angles and perspectives that he had never seen before. The elf's appreciation for nature enriched Gloxinia's art, her subtle hints unlocking secrets that lay dormant among the leaves and petals. With each brush stroke, Gloxinia captured not only the glade's visual splendor but its heart and soul, as Iris spoke of its history and magic. As dusk descended upon the forest, the canvas revealed a masterpiece that transcended boundaries of their individual worlds, combining the tangible human perspective with the intangible beauty of elven magic. A portrait of harmony painted by two souls willing to compromise, creating something more beautiful together than they ever could apart. They stood side by side, viewing their creation with shared pride and wonder. In a gentle exchange, Iris offered Gloxinia a flower from the glade, a symbol of their newfound understanding and friendship. And with it, promises of continued collaboration and the blossoming of shared dreams. From that day forward, the glade sang differently, its melody enriched by the union of human art and elf magic. Gloxinia and Iris were seen walking together often, their friendship a testament to the power of compromise and the beauty found when two worlds meet at a crossroad. Let tonight's calmness stay with you. Good night.